And I wanted to talk about fucking up. So this is a topic that has been just kind of more front and center recently. Like, people do shit all the time, that's maybe not ideal. I do shit all the time. I'm gonna talk about me today. And one thing that kind of made me think to talk about it is not only to normalize it, not only to like help people kind of handle it better, but also to talk about the fact that so often people can be really harsh with themselves when they make a mistake, when they do something that's not ideal. And the deal is that's not helpful. So we're gonna talk about shit, and then we'll just kind of circle back to that. All right. So I fuck up all the time, like all the fucking time. And the deal is it's okay to fuck up. Like, living will make you fuck up. Having something that happens that's out of the ordinary can fuck things up. And the thing I will also say is that the more you do things intentionally, consciously, when you fuck up, it's like it really doesn't make that big a difference because the majority rules. Okay? So that's something that I talk about a lot with fat burners, is kind of just like kind of getting some perspective about what's actually happened. And I think it can be easy for us in a variety of capacities, or maybe aspects of our world, to lose perspective really easily. But that doesn't mean that's actually reality. And so, like, when in doubt, talk to somebody, okay? And best, if when you are in doubt, is to talk to someone that's actually proficient, knowledgeable, skillful in the area that you're struggling, okay? So I fuck up all the goddamn time. And so I fucked up last night. I fucked up where I just hadn't eaten enough. And basically it was like my body was clear that it was I'm starting to get hungry. I'm getting a little hungry, and it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 9:30. And basically I hung out with a friend last night. I got home around 11, and instead of just going kind of immediately to bed, I fucked around. I was on social media. I'm looking at YouTube, and I'm just taking my sweet time. And so now it's it is late, which is never a good thing for anybody. And certainly if you're a bit hungry. So essentially, I just thought I can do this. I'm going to be fine. And I've certainly had times where it's I don't really want to be eating at 11 o'clock at night or midnight or 1. And so it's I'm going to go to bed and I'll be fine. And typically I am. But the deal is I wasn't last night. And it was hard to get to sleep. And it was just God damn it. And so the thing that can be tricky for me is that I only eat once a day, and I like to only eat once a day. I don't like to eat multiple meals. I feel like it's a pain in the ass. I feel like it takes a ton of time. I feel like it's not as good hormonally. I think it's so much easier to eat so much food when we eat multiple times. Harder to lose weight, harder to maintain weight. And so for me, I'm just not interested in it. But the thing is, when I eat, I'm used to getting full. So it's that doesn't really lend itself to a snack. But anyway, the thing I want to brag and then also kind of, bemoan regret about is that I tried to do the thing that I'm supposed to do, right? If you're a little bit hungry late at night, what should you do? You should have this moderate portion of something that's supportive. You should have some cottage cheese and berries, you should have some protein and some more fibrous carbohydrates. And the deal is I tried to do that. I had cottage cheese, and I'm I'll have crackers left over from Easter because I need some carbohydrates. So I had this little mini meal, and it was look at me. I'm not full, but I'm just that's, I think, hopefully all I need. And I went back to bed, and then I woke up like an hour and a half later, fucking hungry. And it was like an appetizer. Like I had given myself like the signal to eat more food. And so then it's like, whatever time that was, 3 a.m. And it's like, I was hungry, and then clearly hungry, and then hungrier. And it was just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Like, who wants to be eating at 3 a.m? Like, if you're not, ending your night then after a really fun time. Anyway, so then, hi, my dear, this is my story. So then it was like, I need food and I want carbohydrates. And so it was like, I want carrot cake. And it was like, okay. So anyway, my like tale of woe is that I set myself up like to be compromised, to kind of fail, really. It's like to eat multiple times, to eat late at night, to eat shit that I don't want to be eating, like a lot of. Like I had 2 big ass pieces of carrot cake because one wasn't enough. And it was like, let me try to continue to eat a little bit more of supportive stuff. So it's like, I'm trying to be conscious, but it's like, I kind of missed the mark. Like I totally fucked up. And so anyway, I finally like ate my fill of like 1,000,000 pounds of food with lots of sugar, which is like what my body wanted. And I was satisfied, like done, and I went to bed. But the whole thing was like, that was like 4 a.m. And then I woke up at 7. And so it was like, this was a nightmare. Like this was so terrible. But the whole thing is that like, it's okay. And so I'm trying to figure out like how much I need kind of more consistently. Like fat burners, we use carb feasts, and what's really effective about them is they help recalibrate hormones and they ensure that we never plateau. But the deal is, the truth is, the more weight you have on your frame and the less active you are, the easier it is for you to use that structure. And so it can work for anybody, but you just need to be a little more precise when you have a little less fat on your frame and you are more active. And so it's like, I've just been like, I'm just undershooting the mark. And then my body's like, fuck it. We need more food at like the worst possible time. So the thing that I want to say about this is that that was like totally like disappointing, like not my goal, not trying to do that. But I'm figuring this out. And so whatever the situation is, when you're like fucking up, you've got to give yourself grace. It's like, you've got to make it right. You've got to be okay with the fact that like something happened that maybe wasn't ideal, and that it's okay. And that doesn't mean that like, it's okay, and then we just repeat this shit again. It's okay. But now I'm like, I'm better informed. I am clearer. Like, I do not need to aim to be like more moderate at my meal. Like I actually need to be more generous, because I don't want to be dealing with this shit late at night when it's like the last thing I want to be doing is like getting out of bed and eating. Like, no fucking thank you. Anyway, and then the other thing I want to say is like what we can do in situations like this, certainly for people that are being conscious about their weight, that are wanting to lose weight, is that we can try to compensate for that. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to eat less. And the deal is like, you could, but not to the degree that it sets you up to have the same pattern. And so for me, it's like, oh yeah, I ate a bunch of food late at night, but it's like, I don't want to need that again. So I'm going to deliberately eat more today to help get this baseline up and figure out where I'm having less swings. And so it's like, I am doing an experiment and I am being gentle with myself in the process. And I encourage everyone to do that, whether that is around weight loss or fitness or health or like learning a new skill or starting a job or whatever, a sport, it's like we've got to be kind of gentle with ourselves. Because the other thing I want to say, let me just see this. Da, 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 da. Yes. I'm like, let me get this. Eek. So instability. I wrote things down. Sorry, this is my like brief hold as I move my stuff. Here we go. Okay. So when this happens, so we talked about this today in our group call for fat burners, and you know, a lovely fat burner, it was like some shit did not go as she intended while away. And so it was like kind of extenuating circumstances, like last minute trip, driving to get there, lots of time in the car, stress has been high, like less than ideal options. And it's like, you know, she did not feel great about what had gone on. And it's like, it really wasn't bad. And so what was really useful always to talk to someone, but to kind of like look at the reality of the situation and focus on what did go well, but then also to make what did happen right. Because one thing that I believe to be true is that like humans are logical. Like we do things because they make sense to us. At the very least, they make sense to us. And so if something doesn't actually make sense about that choice, this is different than I didn't have another option. These were my circumstances. You know, it's like I had to do something and this is what I picked. I did my best. What was I going to say? And so I'm like, oh my God, 4 hours of sleep or less. So basically, but then, so looking at what was right, oh my God, I brought my coffee, I bought my coffee grinder, I had my brain octane oil, like, you know, I still mostly ate once a day. Like, these are amazing things. I brought food with me. I planned ahead. My daughter helped us, you know, find supportive options. Amazing. And then the other piece is making what did happen right. And so this is it. Thank you so much. We are logical. That's it. So it's like when we do things that aren't actually logical, it's because of a reason. It's because of either circumstance, which we're like, I'm not on board with this, or because something makes sense to us based on where we are, how we're feeling, what we're thinking. And so with that, it's like we have to make it right, kind of like in order to figure it out. And so, what was I going to say? And so, like, if there's stuff that's motivating you to do shit that makes you feel like you're fucking up, you know, whether that's like stress eating, like, oh my God, like, you know, I didn't plan ahead, I didn't prepare myself in whatever fashion, it's like, there's an element of consistency with that. Then what I try to do is to get underneath that, like to never make someone wrong because they said fuck it, because they like decided to, you know, have a bender with like whatever, pizza and wine and like all of the cookies that you could ever consume. Getting underneath that, like to either how you're feeling, like being stressed or upset, not having joy, I feel like that's a really big motivator. Meaning that like when we're feeling pretty joyless and like depressed, like disconnected, it's really easy to look for connection, to look for pleasure in places that we end up regretting. And often the easiest often is food, or alcohol. And so when that crops up with people or myself, it's like, you know, have you been talking to someone? Have you been social? Like, are you spending time with people that you love and enjoy? Are you doing things that feel fun, like, or challenging? And it's so amazing how simple those things are regarding helping us to kind of like feel whole and do things that are like healthy for us. And so that could be going to bed at a reasonable hour, or getting up at a certain hour so that you can like get certain shit done to like, you know, have less stress at work, or to get ahead at work, or to like complete something that's personal and important to you. So I think that's like, people are so quick to kind of like put on a hair shirt. You know, it's like, I'm a terrible person, I did this awful thing. And it's like, you did something because it made sense to you. And so, and that makes sense. And so we don't need to condemn it before we understand it. We just want to understand it. And when we understand it, then we can change it. Then really, really, it will change. Because then like the factors aren't there anymore. And I would say, like, when we get things out in the open, things change. So as frightening, like this is another conversation with another fat burner, it's like when shit is up, like when shit is scary, or like, you know, makes you feel vulnerable, or that feels so shameful, what we tend to do is we want to hide that. And what ends up happening is it does damage. So meaning, it's like the fact that we have like a secret or part of us that we're trying to like obscure, that makes us act out. That makes us do things that are quite detrimental. And so as like petrifying as it can be to expose ourselves around something that feels like such a big deal, that we feel like shouldn't be that big a deal, that, you know, we don't really want to tell anyone, that we feel like shouldn't be that big a deal, that people already know. When we make a point, like when we know that there is stuff going on, or we even have the opportunity to talk with someone long enough for our like shit to start to like come to the surface, sharing it sets us free. It's so amazing. And I think that it is underestimated how liberating it can be just to kind of like let something surface and share it. And it's like, you're not going to die. You will feel like bad probably for a moment, and then you will be liberated. And so I think that often, myself included, at times it's like we can brush shit off. We can kind of like discount things. It's like, you know, it's not that big a deal. Oh, I did, you know, this is going on, but like, I don't need to talk about it, or, you know, it's not coming up. But that stuff will rule you. And I feel like if there's ever an opportunity where, you know, like I'm doing this thing like kind of over and over again, and I'm like acting in a way that's a little crazy, this isn't like how I really want to be, this isn't helping me, it's like there is stuff underneath there. And so it doesn't mean that you have to know what it is, but if you have an interest in finding it and sharing it, talking with whomever, that stuff will be hugely consequential in helping you to be more congruent, is really the word. Anyway, in summation, fucking up. So the whole thing is that everybody does it. It's like fucking up is part of life. Fucking up is part of something, doing something new. Fucking up is part of doing something hard. Fucking up is part of doing something different, or just having a day that is different. Like, fucking up happens. And the truth is, it is best, like the best thing to get from it is just to learn from it. You know, shouldn't have done that. I should have eaten more yesterday. It's like, now I know better. And it's like, okay, great. No problem. And at worst, I would say it's that at the very least, we know what we don't want. Like, we don't want to keep doing this thing. We don't want to feel this way. We don't want to stay in the same position or the same circumstances. Period. Okay? And then maybe my last little thing I'll just say, and so I kicked this off with what brought this up for me was not only my own fuck up from last night, but to me that wasn't that big a deal because I fuck up all the time. But what made me think to talk about it was because we talked about it. We talked about another fat burner's feeling of fucking up today on our group call. And so I thought to share my stuff too, because it's not that big a deal. But the deal is, I think I have a sense of ease with it because of fat burning. And so she made the statement. So another fat burner was on the call and she's like, you two are so well established. This other fat burner has been a fat burner for like 8 years, 9 years maybe. And I've been doing this for like 13. And so her statement was, you two are so established. So kind of like you can fuck up and it's okay. And it's like, well, maybe that's true. Like you still have like more weight that you want to lose. So fair enough. But the deal is like, it's so comforting to be using a system that is flexible and forgiving, like for her as well. And I think that that's necessary. Like whatever you're using to get you wherever you're going, it's like nobody is perfect and no one will remain perfect, even if you've been able to kind of like maintain something. Like doing something pretty fucking well is like enough and generally like head and shoulders above like what should be expected. So anyway, so I say this to anyone that is feeling frustrated or feeling like they're fucking up regarding how they intend to eat, how they wish to be like managing their activity or their waistline. If you have an approach that has flexibility factored in, it just makes it a lot easier. And I think for a lot of us, when we want to lose weight, for example, we think that the other people that are making change or maintaining what they desire, that it's because they're so disciplined, that they're like able to do kind of inordinate things. And in my opinion, they probably just have a better system. And so because it's like, you can't do hard shit forever, or you can't do hard shit exclusively. Like that's just not human. And so thank goodness you don't have to. You just need a better system that enables you to not be perfect or exactly the same each and every day. All right. So if you are a woman over 40 who wants to lose 8 to 15 pounds in a month by not being perfect and having deviation factored in, like carb feasts, and like having fucking up be like par for the course, and understanding how to handle that really and how to avoid it also, please consider fat burning. Please consider undergoing a mitochondrial reconstruction so your body literally works differently. I haven't really realized that like part of my like platform for weight loss is essentially leveraging the body's innate abilities. So it's like we work smarter and not harder. Because if you had to like push the boulder up the hill alone, it's like, it's just a matter of time before most people feel like frustrated in terms of their progress, or, you know, it feels like too much to do to keep up forever. And it just doesn't have to be that way. All right. So at any rate, please consider such things. And maybe what I'll attach is, I'm going to be giving a talk at the end of the month about why weight loss is harder after 40. And it's just about this element of how we work and how we could work differently based on what you're dealing with. All right, so I'll attach the registration link. Should you have a desire to attend, there will be a replay if that date doesn't work for you. But would love to have you understand more about how you work in order to have more of what you want. Okay, that's it. Hope this was amazing. Love to you, and until next time.